Go.
Is it on? Okay. Bees are incredibly busy insects and work up to 8 hours a day during the spring and summer to make honey. There are 3 different ranks of honeybee: workers, drones, and the elusive queen. And the one that collects the nectar to make the honey is the worker bee. They begin their job at only 3 weeks old. This honeybee began her life in a beehive. Beehives can contain 50,000 to 100,000 bees. The queen bee lays tiny white eggs inside the beehive, around 1,500 every day during the spring and summer. She lays these eggs in cell chambers. Most of the eggs that hatch will become worker bees. These are all female. The other eggs become male, and these are the drones. A drone's only job in its life is to mate with the queen. He does no other work at all. After a drone has mated with the queen, he dies. The egg develops into a larva, which is fed royal jelly. This comes out of a gland from a worker bee's head. When the larva is 3 days old, the worker bee starts feeding it bee bread, a mixture of honey and pollen. Once the larva is 5 days old, the worker bees will seal the cell with wax. The larva then covers herself with a cocoon and becomes a pupa. For the next 3 weeks, the pupa will transform and change until she has become a fully grown bee. She then bites her way through the wax seal of her cell and begins to clean the hive. The queen will not lay eggs in a dirty cell, so the worker bee gets rid of leftover bits of wax, cocoon, and dirt from the empty cells. They get rid of these things by eating them. It takes between 15 and 30 bees 40 minutes to clean a single cell. So, for the first 3 days of a bee's life, she cleans and cleans and cleans. After that, she feeds the larvae and checks them. Nurse bees check on each larva more than 1,000 times a day. The bee's body then begins producing wax. It comes from a gland within the bee's abdomen. She uses this wax to build the cells in which the queen lays her eggs. Shall I do that again? The bee's body then begins producing wax. It comes from glands within the bee's abdomen. She uses this wax to build the cells in which the queen lays her eggs, though some of the cells will be used to store honey. This is called honeycomb. These cells are tilted so the honey doesn't drip out. The bees then take care of the queen by cleaning her, carrying away her waste, grooming her, and even gathering around her with other worker bees and flapping their tiny wings to cool her off. Soon, the worker bees stop making as much wax. Her new main job is to unload the nectar other bees bring to the hive. She will eat some of it and store the rest in the honey cells. She begs the other bees for the nectar by beating her antenna against the antennas of the bees that have been out collecting honey. She puts her tongue into the bee's mouth and eats the nectar that the other bee regurgitates. This nectar is stored in the bee's honey stomach, which is separate from her other stomach. A bee's body has 3 different sections: its head, its thorax, and its abdomen. Each part of a bee, though, has a special function that helps them do their work. The bee's eye can track the position of the sun and use this to navigate to flowers and back to the hive. Their wings enabled them to fly using magic. Their hind legs have a pollen basket.
You're gonna have to do that again now.
Fine. Let's do this.
I've only got 3 minutes left of recording.
Okay. The bee's body has 3 different sections: its head, its thorax, and its abdomen. Each part of a bee, though, has a special function that helps them do their work. The bee's eye can track the position of the sun, and uses this to navigate to flowers and back to the hive. The wings enable them to fly. Their hind legs have a pollen basket that stores pollen collected from the flowers. It also has a pollen brush, which rubs pollen from one flower to another as the bee travels from plant to plant. This pollinates the flowers. The bee also has a stinger for defense. When a worker bee is just over 2 weeks old, she begins to guard the hive.